Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition. Now, here's your host, Reggie Flood.
It's 7 o'clock or so. You know what time it is. It's the Jaguar Journal. That's right. I'm Reggie Flood. Of course, he's the man who sits on my left, but he's my right-hand man. P. White, Perry White is in the building. And we're live and in color coming to you. My man Mike, the producer, holding it down. Whew. I feel like I almost said it was homecoming, but it's not.
It's game day.
It's game day. That's what it is. It's game day. What's going on, P. White?
Man, nothing much. It's finally here. Football on the Bluff. Get an opportunity to see our Jags at home defend the home turf against none other than our most hated, heated, filthiest feline in the conference, the Jackson State Tigers.
Yes. The Jackson State Tigers are in town. They have made their presence felt. I've seen them around town. Got in town late last night, and I got a chance to swoop up on campus for a little while, and it's the atmosphere is there.
It's there. You can feel it.
The atmosphere is there. I mean, it was already packed on campus last night. People are talking about it. It's just up to the game on the field now.
It is, man. You know, there's a lot of information for you guys to know about today for the big game against Jackson State. And so none better than to have someone from Southern University Athletics to come on. Southern University Deputy Athletic Director, Rodney Kirshner. Good morning, Rodney.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great, Rodney. How's it going, man?
Good. Doing good.
All right, we got the big game today. It has officially been sold out. Talk to us first. Let's start in the area of parking. Once people come onto campus, what is parking like for everyone on campus?
Hey, so we first things first, guys. We are expecting a very large crowd. Not only we sold out, but we're sold out of we're sold out of all of our regular parking spots that we sell. But right now we're expecting a very large crowd, so we're urging all our fans to come to campus as early as possible so they don't get stuck in traffic. But all our reserve lots are sold out, and unfortunately, infrastructure-wise, we only have 3 ways in and off our campus, and so we're asking fans to make sure they know where they're going. If they're reserve lots, they need to come over Swan Street, or they need to come over Harding over the hump. If they're general admission, make sure you're in that left lane. Once you come over Harding, make sure the best way for general admission is really to come in through Mills Avenue and try to avoid some of that traffic.
Now, when you talk about parking, is it cashless? What ways can people make payments today for parking?
Yes, so general admission parking is $20, and it's cash only.
Cash only. All right. So once we move on from parking, let's talk about tickets and the stadium in terms of today and payments and things around the stadium. So no tickets are available officially today.
Correct. No tickets are available. Our ticket office will be open from 12 to 2 inside the F.G. Clark Activity Center, and then it opens up at 3:30 on the northeast corner of the stadium.
All right. And so when you talk about being around the stadium, is everything cashless? Can you use cash? How does it work in terms of the tickets as well as getting into the stadium today?
Yes. So most of our vendors that are set up around, they're able to take cash and card as well. With that, our ticket office is there to help a lot of our fans. As you guys know, we went to a mobile ticketing system with Ticketmaster, and so a lot of our tickets. And we're urging our fans to make sure that they download their tickets to their wallet before they come on campus. Yeah. We do have things in place at the gates, but we do know that Wi-Fi and internet is going to be slowed up today because of the amount of people on campus. And if anybody has problems with their tickets, they can go to one of the ticket offices at one of those times and talk to one of our ticket representatives to make sure that they get help, they get assistance, and if worst case scenario, they can actually print hard tickets for them. We do not accept print at home tickets.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to ask, because a lot of people didn't understand that. They had some misinformation going around on social media that they were not accepting printed, that you guys would not be accepting printed tickets at all, but that's not true. You can bring a printed ticket as long as it's printed from Southern. It can't be tickets that are printed from home or from any other source.
Correct. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, we're having a lot of counterfeit issues with print at home tickets, and so this way, we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to be more mobile friendly, but we understand not all our fans do have smartphones and everything like that, so they can just go to the ticket office and they will be able to print tickets. And as long as it's a printed ticket from Southern University, we'll definitely honor that.
What time will the gates open, Rodney?
The gates open at 3:30.
At 3:30.
And Rodney, so the next question I have for you, we saw earlier this week that they said because of a burn ban here in the state of Louisiana that initially people would not be able to with open flame to be able to cook or tailgate in that manner on campus. What has changed now, and what is now set in stone for tailgaters out there for today?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we appreciate you, Perry, and both of you guys for all you do for us. But yes, we went back and forth with the fire marshal's office. I think that's kind of why you saw LSU and us put out a statement, and then we kind of had to retract the statement once we investigated a little bit more with the fire marshals. But our fans, we are allowing our fans to bring grills, charcoal pits, pellet grills, smokers, things like that, into their normal tailgates like we normally would. So our fans are encouraged to do that. We just are asking to make sure that our fans pay attention to any type of grilling activity. We like to have our libations and have some fun and, talk a little smack. But, we're just asking our fans to make sure that they watch their pits and make sure, if possible, they have a water source or possibly a fire extinguisher on hand just in case anything does get crazy with it. But we're not allowed to have any open fire, which means we're not allowed to have fire pits or barrels, fire, which a lot of that we don't allow anyways. But we're just not allowed to have an open flame in that sense.
Hey, Rodney, I think the only thing on fire today is going to be Jackson State, right?
No, I don't think they're going to be on fire.
That tail.
I think Southern going to be on fire, and Jackson going to be the grass that's getting rolled over.
Yeah, okay. We're going to set them on fire and send them on back. So we might need the fire truck for them.
But right, I really wanted to emphasize, like I asked you about the time the gate opened. The reason for that is because we hear people complaining about long lines. The gate's going to be open at 3:30. So if you have any issues about getting in the stadium, things like that, start early. Get there early so we can get the lines moving and get people in the stadium in a timely manner. Because I hear people complain about it. Just from an infrastructure point of view, that there are a limited amount of gates. Every gate we can't let everybody in through every gate. There has to be some order to it. Just from an infrastructure point of view, we get there early so the lines will get moving. Have your tickets available and ready so people can scan them and get them moving. I just wanted to make sure we get that point across to people.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. And also we have our clear bag policy as well, which sometimes slows our gates up as well when our fans bring a regular purse or a regular bag that we're not allowed to accept with our clear bag policy. But you're absolutely right. On the west side of the stadium, we really only have one gate because one gate is designated to the students, and so our main entry point for our fans is the gate towards the field house. And you're absolutely right. And some of our fans, even on the east side, don't realize that we actually have 4 gates on the east side, but kind of where they park, they don't walk further down by Jaguar Park towards the tennis courts and go in those gates.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. We're trying to encourage fans to get not only on campus early to avoid traffic congestion, but try to come on, have the camaraderie and spirit that we have with tailgating. But as well as we're trying to encourage fans to get in the stadium earlier than normal, just to, like I said, try to avoid some of those lines and everything. But, as you guys know, we hear the same things, and we're trying to make sure the fan experience is as best as we possibly can. But, when everybody tries to bum rush the gate 30 minutes before kickoff, you're going to be in a line.
Yes.
And so, we're trying to expedite as much as we can. We're trying to open an express lane on each side as well, which basically means that anybody that doesn't have a bag or anything that needs to be searched or checked, we can try to expedite their entry into A.W. Mumford even quicker.
Hey, Rodney, let me ask you one last question before we get ready to let you go. So officially we saw on the Southern University athletic page that this game is officially a sellout, but it said the first hard sellout since 2000 against Morris Brown. What does that mean? Because I saw people going back and forward having that discussion about sellouts, hard sellouts, and people have said that they thought we've sold out some games before. So what is the true definition when we say not only is this game a sellout, but the first hard sellout since 2000?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. So we did sell out we are sold out for this game, and officially what we're trying to tell our fans is that for the first time since 2000, since that Morris Brown homecoming game, is that day before the game, all our ticket availability is completely sold out. So we actually have money counted for every ticket that we possibly can sell is accounted for.
In other words, don't call me. We ain't got no tickets, bro.
Yeah, that's it. And so we were very excited to have that. We've had some games where we've sold out that day, but we really wanted to push it out to our fan base because I think the excitement, as you guys were talking about earlier, the excitement's in the air. You can already feel it here on campus at 7 a.m. Our fans are ready for a game like this, which we think this is a great game. And a lot of our fans don't realize it's a non-conference game, so it doesn't count on the conference standing. But it was just one of those where
it counts, Rodney. It counts.
Yeah. Oh no, it counts with our fans, absolutely. But it was one of those where AD Banks and I were looking at the schedule. We noticed that Jackson rolled off our schedule the way since we added FAMU and Bethune, the way our schedule works. Unfortunately, some of our rival games kind of roll off from the eastern side, and so we were able to recognize that pretty quickly and work with A.D. Robinson to kind of get this game in the books. But yeah, we're very excited. Like I said, it's a sellout. We have a lot of things in store today for our fans. Our block party starts at 1:00. We'll have some student athletes up there. We'll have Golden Blues, DJ. Our vendors are set up, and that's all in the northeast corner of the stadium. As you guys know, we just released a video not too long ago on Wednesday, of our new light system in Mumford. We can't wait to show our fans what that is. We know what the Boombox Classic is going to bring with the Pete Richardson Classic. We're recognizing the 93 team, the 03 team, and I believe the 2013 football championship teams today as well as Coach Pete. We have a flyover scheduled, so it's a lot of events that we're trying to bring in and make sure people realize, we're trying to do the best for our fans and make our game day atmosphere even one of the best in the country, even though it already is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Rodney, for coming on. Rodney Kirshner, the Southern University Athletic Deputy Athletic Director, man. Thank you for coming on, giving us all that information, Rodney.
Yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much and appreciate all you guys do for us.
All right.
Rodney. Have a good one, man.
All right. Let's keep it going. We got my man, Thomas White of Mogul Threads on the line. Thomas, good morning. Is he there?
Good morning. We're here.
What's going on, T. White? What's going on, Thomas?
Baby.
You up and at 'em, huh?
Up and at 'em. We got to be. It's J Stay Week.
That's right.
It's J. The day is here.
It's here.
And, for a lot of – go ahead.
Stand corrected.
For a lot of Jaguar fans who will be making their way over to Jaguar land, crossing that hump, they're going to be looking for some last-minute apparel, trying to get themselves right, get the kids, maybe take some stuff back home to the family. And you are the guy to talk to. Where are you located? What can they get from you? And give the people all the information about getting some apparel from Mogul Threads.
Appreciate it. We're going to be located, as usual, at the TJ Jemison Baptist Student Center right across from the tennis courts. I mean, we have a clear view of the football field, A.W. Mufford Stadium. You're going to pass us probably coming in, as Rodney was talking about, one of the entryways into the bluff. So we're excited. We're going to have T-shirts, caps, shakers, anything that a Jaguar fan will want.
Man, it's a whiteout. Do you have anything special in white, man? It's the whiteout game for everybody who doesn't know who's listening. Wear your white. It is a whiteout, okay? So you're going to stand out if you don't wear your white.
Please wear your white. That's first and foremost. And, of course, I would love for you to support us, but make sure you wear your white first. We do have a OG Pete Classic tee that you want to come and check out, and we're going to have some things posted. Of course, we got some of the other classics that you want to pick up. So we definitely got the white out, and we're prepared for the gold game. So come down, check us out, and we'll take care of your needs.
And, Thomas, I got to ask you, because I'm going to have to get 2 shirts from you. I got a bet going with some Jackson State people, and if they lose, they're going to have to wear some Southern gear. So I'm going to have to pull up on you so I can make sure I get them some mogul thread gear for when they have to put on that Southern Jaguar.
Oh, they definitely going to have to wear that. They definitely. I just feel it. I feel it. They definitely going to have to wear that. So we definitely going to take care of those needs.
Now, you've been set up today. Now, was it anything else that you've been a part of this weekend or going to be a part of this weekend?
Yeah, actually, a part of what Rodney was just talking about in regards to the recognition of the champions from Southern University past football years. That will be the 93 team, which were black national champions. That will be the 2003 team, which were SWAC champions, as well as the 2013 SWAC champions. So they're going to get together. You're going to get to see a lot of the legends that you used to cheer for. They're excited. I'm excited. They're going to mix. They're going to be around, so you'll get an opportunity to see those guys. And they do have a lot of things special for them on this day because it is very important that we recognize them for all their awards, achievements, and just the blood, sweat, and tears they gave to the Jaguar Nation.
All right, Thomas, one last time, let the people know where you're located to get some Southern University apparel today, and how can they follow and keep up with you via social media?
Like I said, we're located on the campus. We're at the T.J. Jemison Baptist Student Center right across from the tennis courts, can't miss us. And then also all social media is Mogul Threads, and the website is mogulthreads.com.
My man Thomas White, hey, that's my cousin from the other side, all right? Yeah, that's my cousin from the other side, all right? So, hey, Thomas, thank you for coming on this morning, man, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you when we get out there.
It is a pleasure, and I thank y'all, and come on out. Make sure you wear your white, and go Jags.
All right, go Jags. All right, let's get ready to take a break. We come back. We have a very special guest. If I can get him up this morning, we can get him up.
Get him up and move.
Get him up and move. We have a very special guest, so y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. More to Jaguar Journal.
At Reliable Roofing, we're dedicated to providing exceptional roofing services, including roof inspections, repairs, and complete roof installations with over 30 years experience.
Reliable Roofing provided me with valuable, quality, and dependable service. They were reliable and affordable. Please protect your most valuable investment with quality roofing services from Reliable Roofing. Definitely where the pros go.
Let our family help your family. Call for a free estimate today.
At
depression, anxiety, trauma, nicotine dependence, and more. Many families are struggling with behavioral health issues. Reaching out for professional help is the best thing you can do for you and your family. At Care South, we are committed to helping individuals and families to heal, bounce back, and grow stronger. Our team of professionals are available for telehealth and in-person visits. Call for an appointment today at 225-650-2000. Hope and healing is just a phone.
And we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. P. White, Perry White, Reggie Flood. We holding it down, man. It's Saturday. It's big day. You can feel the energy in the air. Everybody's kind of hyped. Even on YouTube. Shout out to everybody joining us on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like on Facebook. But man, P. White, it's going down. It's Jackson State. Legendary games have come out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Legends have been made out of this game.
Mm-hmm. And a legendary coach is coached in this game.
That's right.
In which the game is named after of today. And he's a legendary guy that the Jaguar Nation has affectionately fell in love with. They love him so much they wish they can replay it over and over and over and over because it made the 90s one beautiful era in Southern University football history, right?
This is true.
And no better than to have him on because it is named after him today.
It's his day.
It is his day. Coach Pete Richardson. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
Doing good. How are you?
Hey, just fine. Just trying to get used to the heat.
Huh?
Don't get used to the heat now, Coach. If you're not used to it by now, it's too late.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Mm-hmm.
In your own words, say, Holmes, that heat gonna be there.
yeah, it's gonna be there all day. You can't run from it.
Coach, how you feeling, man? And today is the big day. It's the Pete Richardson Classic yourself. I've seen you on shirts. I've seen you all on commercials and billboards, man, to have this big game, a sellout, first sellout, hard sellout, as Rodney Kirshner came on and said since 2000. All the tickets are gone. Southern's most hated rival, a rematch of last year's SWAC championship game against Jackson State, a team that you won the first, well, I should say, now let me get correct, the inaugural SWAC championship, and you beat this team who seemed to have been a favorite, Jackson State. So to be able to have all this culminate and come together for you in this manner, man, how does that feel?
Well, it's a great feeling, especially for Southern University and the fan base because, they did a great job on following us regardless of where we played at. And we had the opportunity to play in the inaugural one. And it was a great football game. And, of course, Jackson has always had some fine athletes and a great football program. And besides the Bayou Classic, I think the people look forward to this game more than anything else.
Coach, is this kind of surreal for you? Like Perry said, you walk around and you see your face on T-shirts. You see it's a game actually named after you, the Pete Richardson Classic. Is this one of those moments where you kind of feel like, wow, have I really accomplished it? Is this become kind of surreal to you?
Well, you walk around and you see the people, and I think more than anything else that when you do the coaching, especially at Southern University with so many other commitments that you have, you really don't get a chance to see the people. But since I retired, I got a chance to see some of my old followers, regardless of where we played it. They made those sacrifices come, and I'm pleased from that aspect, and get a chance to meet and talk to some of them. And I am a real person also.
And not only that, you'll be on the call today on the broadcast for the football game, correct?
Yes, I'll be broadcasting the game with Chris Powers. Mm-hmm.
Is it gonna be weird to keep hearing your name over and over, the Pete Richardson class, and you sitting right there looking at him?
Well, this is a situation where you kind of get used to it. I think it means more, I think, to the fans and me, and I think and my family because and then plus the assistant coaches and the players that had an opportunity to play that did an outstanding job for me.
Coach, is it nice to get your roses while you can enjoy them and while you can smell them?
Well, I think it means a great deal to individuals to be able to go through it because a lot of them receive those once they had passed on, and I'm here to enjoy that aspect and enjoy the people to have a good time with them, and they're really excited for me.
Coach, I got to ask you, it's Jackson State. Now, you know better than anybody what a rivalry game is like Jackson, the intensity, just the pageantry behind this game and why the two fan bases seriously don't like each other, why the two football teams seriously don't like each other, but two programs that have competed for championships year in and year out. Explain for people out there, even as a head coach, what is it like for Southern and Jackson when they meet out there on the gridiron to take on each other?
Well, I think, you talk about two-class organizations. Jackson State and Southern University is kind of the top of black college football, and they do an outstanding job of representing them. But no more than that, I think it means a great deal to people throughout the country. And I think they're looking forward to that game. And it's an intense rivalry because a lot of those individuals had an opportunity to play against each other in high school and their families. And technically, we kind of pull for each other until they play each other. It's almost like the Bayou Classic because, once those individuals get on that field, regardless of what happens, it's going to be a real great opportunity to have a exciting football game for 60 minutes.
Coach, now I have to say this. I don't mean to go against you, but I never pull for Jackson State in anything. but Coach, I tell you, one of my memories of a Jackson State game when you were coaching, and this when I realized Coach Rich really played in the league, P. White. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna remember this. This before your time.
What year was this?
This had to be like may have been like 95, 97, something like that. Well, anyway, it was a call. The ball went out of bounds as the clock was running out. The ref should have stopped the clock and reset the ball, and he didn't. And they called ball game, and they started running off the field. And Coach Rich took off across the field in a full sprint and ran the referee down and was getting in his grill. I was like, oh yeah, now I see how Coach used to run him down when he played in the league.
You remember that one, Coach?
Oh yeah, I remember that great deal because we came up short on that game. There was some critical decisions made at the end of that football game that I think there should have been about 8 or 10 seconds left that gave us a shot. We were moving down the field with the ball, and all of a sudden the ball went out of bounds, and they kept the clock running, and all of a sudden the clock ran out, and the game was over.
Them damn SWAC refs.
Well, over a period of years, they really hadn't changed. They make it's a tough job, especially in the HBC conference, because the fan base is so excited, and a call here and a call there can really change a lot of these football games because the competition is so close. And, of course, another aspect, there'd be a lot of side betting in those stands. People get excited about those calls also.
Coach, I want to ask you, has it been hard to transition into the booth, to have to break down and sometimes critique, games and look at those games from a standpoint of where you have to, like I say, break it down and critique or one of your former players, or just break down and critique Jaguar football, period?
Well, it's tough. You kind of get used to it. A lot of times it's almost like having a guarded conversation. You see things and hear things that you realize that it's going to offend people that you got to be guarded against saying. But I think also it's a situation where it keeps me close to the game. I'm finished with the coaching aspect, and I'm a fan now, and I'm going to pull for Southern University regardless of who they're playing. But you kind of have a guarded conversation what you be saying.
Coach, I'm going to ask you this, and I need you to dig deep back in your mind. Give me your most memorable Southern Jackson State game as a head coach.
Well, I think it was the first time we played Jackson in that championship game up in, I think it was Mobile. No, Birmingham, I think.
Yeah, 99.
Right, and we're going down the field, and it was back and forth. It was tight, and time was running out, and I think Levy threw that one down in the corner, I think, to the wide receiver that caught it with about 2 seconds left, and we won the game. I think that was probably the most memorable part of that game, of most of the games that we have played. Yeah,
that one, especially with Terrence Levy coming into that position, that game. Michael Hayes had a monster game doing that, and Southern's defense stepped up big getting up some late interceptions because Jackson State battled back in the second half and they took a lead. And Southern got back. And right before Terrence Levy threw that ball in the corner of the end zone, he fumbled it. They had to go back about 10 yards to get hold. It was a bad snap. I can imagine you on the sideline probably about to go crazy when you saw that.
Levy was he really didn't start at that time. I think the starter got hurt. He came in, the ball was snapped over his head, and time was running out. He was running back and forth across the field. And, of course, my man went down in the corner of the end zone, flying down. He just heaved it, and Hayes came up with it down in the corner, and the game was over, and the place kind of erupted.
Black College Hall of Fame this year. What is it like for you to be inducted into the Black College Hall of Fame? And once again, like Flood said, getting your roses while you're here. The field is named after you at Southern, the Pete Richardson field. We have the classic, but then getting that Black College Hall of Fame for all that you did, because your career didn't start here at Southern. You were the head coach at Winston-Salem State, where you had success there as well. But then to be shown that and let the world know about your success by getting to the Hall of Fame, what was that like for you?
Well, it was a special feeling, especially for me to see your name and your picture up there with some of the greatest coaches, I think, in HBC history. And of course, those individuals, going to be highly remembered because a lot of them that, you're kind of your mentors. And also it means a great deal to your family to be able to go through that. But more than anything else, I have to attribute a lot of that to the assistant coaches because they did an outstanding job for me as far as preparation. And, of course, you have to take your hats off to the fans because I don't care what was the situation. They always believed that we had a shot. And I think any time that, gosh, where we played at, even when we went to Las Vegas, they followed us out there. They had an outstanding time. And I think that meant a great deal to us to hang in there for 60 minutes regardless of the results of those games.
Any message you have for the Jaguar Nation, for the love and support they've given you over the years, and for all the people that will be out at the game today to support not only the teams but to honor your name, Pete Richardson? Any message you have for any listeners out there that have supported over the years?
Well, I like to thank a lot of those individuals because Dr. Spice gave me that opportunity to come in, and those individuals were kind of grudgingly at first, but then all of a sudden when we started winning, they hooked on and they dug in. And, of course, they accepted me and my family here at Southern University. Happen to have a home here, and I get back and forth. But, I'm proud to be a part of this community and what Southern University means to it. And, of course, being right up there with them as far as when Southern is on, I'm watching just like them as a spectator right now.
Coach, you brought up Dr. Spice's name, and I honestly, I don't think her name gets mentioned enough in credit for just what Southern is and been her place in the history of not just Southern but the United States. But for you, looking at this and as people give you all this adulation, who are some of the people like Dr. Spikes who who are kind of part responsible for helping you get to this point?
Well, I think when you look at here, at Southern University, of course, Eddie Robinson was a rivalry, but he was an outstanding individual. A lot of times we had an opportunity to be able to talk to each other on those SWAC tours when they did have them, and he was a great competitor and made an outstanding contribution to HBC football. And, of course, where I came from before, I had another legend, Big House Gaines, a basketball legend that gave me an opportunity to get started in coaches. And I think those two are probably my mentors. And, of course, Bill Hayes was involved with this also, giving me an opportunity to start on the college level as far as coaching.
Coach, with those kind of mentors, you didn't have a choice but to be legendary. You named three of the greatest that ever did it anywhere.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be able to have some great mentors, and I think it meant a great deal to steal a thing here. And because I don't think anything is new, you have your own master plan of what you want to do, and I think it's all of them about the same. When you're talking about hard work and getting you some dedicated people around you, making that commitment and trust you, and being able to perform and execute out there on game day.
Well, Coach, we thank you for coming on this morning. We know you got a long day, and from us individuals here in the studio, Reggie Flood and Perry White, we appreciate you. We love you, man. I just remember watching those Bayou Classics back in the day, and you had that hat cocked to the side, and you go out there with them glasses, and you pointing, and them headsets almost off your head, or I just saw you sling them down, and you letting them SWAC refs know that was a damn bad call, all right? I'm sure it was more to it than that, but, man, we love you. We love you. We appreciate you, and it is an honor to be able to have you on and to be able to talk to you and get these stories from you, man, and be able to go to a classic named after you today. This is truly an honor, and I thank you for coming on with us.
That's right. And, Coach, as every time I see you, whenever we're in a public place, this is where I always end with Coach Rich. I always have to remind him, keep putting that Roscoe on him, Holmes.
You know what I got to tell him every time, Flood?
What's that?
Save my number in your phone.
Well, you go through those things, and I think the players realize that you're going to fight every inch with them out there. As long as they're competing hard, and regardless of the outcome, when you walk up that football field, you left everything you had, because those people in the stands, that's the expectations, and you set those standards, and those people look forward to you playing hard for 60 minutes. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come on.
All right. Sir. Thank you, Coach. Have a great one.
Oh, thank y'all. Okay.
All right. Let's get ready to take a break. It's going to be one, and we come back. We'll have a short time frame before we go to the top of the hour. But y'all stick with us. Thank you for Coach Pete Richardson coming on, Rodney Kirshner, and my man Thomas White. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
At Reliable Roofing, we're dedicated to providing exceptional roofing services, including roof inspections, repairs, and complete roof installations, with over 30 years' experience.
Reliable Roofing provided me with valuable, quality, and dependable service. They were reliable and affordable. Please protect your most valuable investment with quality roofing services from Reliable Roofing. Definitely where the pros go.
Let our family help your family. Call for a free estimate today.
Depression, anxiety, trauma, nicotine dependence, and more. Many families are struggling with behavioral health issues. Reaching out for professional help is the best thing you can do for you and your family. At Care South, we are committed to helping individuals and families to heal, bounce back, and grow stronger. Our team of professionals are available for telehealth and in-person visits. Call for an appointment today at 225-650-2000. Hope in healing is just a phone call away. Depression, anxiety.
And we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal, man. That was great having Coach Pete Richardson on with us, the living legend, Coach Pete Richardson, on the Jaguar Journal, man. Pete Richardson Field, Pete Richardson Classic, Pete Richardson everywhere.
I keep telling them, man, let me get in that closet and let me get some of that Moe's Southern gear.
That's right.
Some of that Russell, some of that Stardust. Give me something.
You know, I was glad this summer I got a chance to be with Coach, to hang out with Coach Rich and introduce him at an alumni event.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it a little bit. You realize that Coach Eddie Robinson, Coach A.W. Mumford, and then Coach Pete Richardson are the three winningest coaches in Louisiana college football history.
I can see that. Won a lot of games.
Won a lot of football.
Can we turn that down a little bit, Mike? Yeah. Thank you.
Won a lot of football games.
Uh-huh.
Coach Rich, like I said, is the third winningest coach, but look at those two names ahead of him.
That's some big time names.
Eddie Robinson and A.W. Mumford
mm-hmm.
and Pete Richardson.
And today is the Pete Richardson Classic and Flood. You know, we go back to week 1 last week, start the season off, man, has some big games. I'm going to start with the games that we already knew were probably not going to be games, right? And let's start with Alabama A&M versus Vanderbilt. At one time, people thought when you looked at that score, looked like A&M was right there in the mix, right?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt walked away from 47-13. Connell Maynard said he get paid to win SWAC games, all right? So I just kind of understand where he's at with that. Bethune-Cookman, coach, going on the road.
That's what's going to get Connell Maynard out of the SWAC. But go ahead.
Going on the road to take on Memphis, a team that Southern played some years back up at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, 56-14 Memphis. Then this is a game where I thought it was a little delusional by them big bad Braves, as they call themselves. But I saw all the banter, as you say, all over social media going back and forth with Southern Miss, and they really believed that there was going to be an opportunity in this game.
We'll see. Alcorn had played Southern Miss close the last time they played.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of why they felt like they could go in and compete, because they had played them real close the last time they played.
Well, it was nowhere near close this time. 40-14 Southern Miss. Alcorn did not complete a pass in the first half of this ball game. Wow. Not one pass. All right, now let's get to the games that actually had some sense to it outside of those games. And let's start in Chicago with the Chicago Football Classic. Central State, a D2 program who we know back in the day was a power when you remember those Sheridan broadcast polls.
Yeah.
I always talk about it. You heard of Central State in that thing, right? They were a team that you didn't want to deal with. Against Mississippi Valley, Kendrick Wade taking over a program in which he played wide receiver for. And wow, Central State 24, Valley 21, Flood.
Valley's gone Valley. I mean, Kendrick, he has some work ahead of him.
Yeah.
I thought just on the fact that they had full allotment of scholarships and they were able to recruit, I thought Valley would be able to get over the hump in this game. That has to be a disappointing loss. Coach said that they had a really tough time in Chicago in terms of logistics and things like that. But once it got on the field, you can't lose to Central State. Valley just Valley, and that's all that is.
You talk about Eddie Robinson, so that means we got to talk about Grambling, our cousins up there in North Louisiana. They went up to New Jersey to take on Hampton, and again, they gave some nostalgia, old school feel between Hampton and Grambling. Hampton able to get it done 35-31 to beat the Tigers of Grambling.
Yes, Hampton and Grambling, a good game. Grambling looked pretty good in spots in that game. Hampton was Hampton, and I mean, it's a disappointing loss for Grambling, but you saw some progress for them. Hampton, I'm interested to see how things pan out for them this year. I think they're in the CAA now.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the CAA along with North Carolina A&T, and they are the HBCUs who are in a non-HBCU conference. So I'm interested to see what kind of team Hampton has. I thought they were evenly matched against Grambling. Grambling had some opportunities to do some things in that game. They weren't able to get over the hump.
Yeah, Hampton can run the ball, 279 yards on the ground. Grambling, whose strength was rushing last year, only 100 yards, but 311 yards passing in the air. A game that went into overtime, a fourth quarter comeback. Prairie View versus Texas Southern. Prairie View gets the victory 37-34 over Texas Southern. 9 straight. 9
straight games. Great comeback victory. Texas Southern did everything they could do to give them the game.
They did.
And if you really look at it, Texas Southern has kind of been on the decline.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M, they lose the game, a tough game. Andrew Body gets hurt, come back, lose another tough one to PV to kick off the season. So, hopefully at some point they can stop their decline for their sake. But you have to take a look at Texas Southern and what Andrew Body's been doing over there. It hadn't been really good for them lately. 4
turnovers, 3 by way of interception. Prairie View comes back with 10 unanswered points in the fourth quarter and kicks a field goal in overtime to win 37-34. And then, of course, today's opponent, Southern, taking on Jackson State. Jackson State taking on FAMU last week. Oh, man, FAMU came out clicking on all cylinders.
They for one quarter, FAMU played a perfect game. And they just rode the rest of that game out. But for one quarter, they played a perfect game. Other than that, FAMU looked kind of mediocre. But Jackson State couldn't get it going, but they did play a full game. They never quit in that game.
All right, we're at the top of the hour. We get ready to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to start breaking down today's matchup, Jackson State and Southern. So y'all stick with us. We'll be right back. Stay tuned more to Jaguar Journal.
CareSouth Medical and Dental offers comprehensive health care services to everyone from babies to senior citizens. Medical, dental, and behavioral health services. COVID vaccinations and telehealth services are available too. Our excellent staff provides...
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The death toll more than 800 and rising after a massive 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Morocco overnight. American citizen T. Barnes lives in Marrakesh.
We ran into my daughter's room, and I think that was the part where it was probably the most violent. And we huddled together and just tried to wait out this shaking. Things were falling.
President Biden releasing a statement expressing his condolences, saying he is deeply saddened by the loss of life and devastation that was caused by the earthquake, and that they're working hard to ensure all American citizens in Morocco are safe, adding that they are ready to help the country.
ABC's Lama Hassan, President Biden releasing that statement from India as he attends the G20 summit in New Delhi.
President Biden.
The world stands at an inflection point in history. A point where decisions we make today are going to affect the course of our future, all of our futures for decades to come.
Russian President Putin absent from the summit, where much discussion will focus on the war in Ukraine. Here at home, U.S. military officials appear to be considering new U.S. tactical missiles in the next wave of aid as the counteroffensive continues. ABC's Britt Clennett is in Ukraine with more.
The White House saying it's discussing whether to send Ukraine long-range Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, for the first time to Ukraine. Now, these missiles, they could allow Ukraine to reach targets 4 times further away than the rockets that they have now. And this all as Ukraine does appear to be making incremental gains in the south.
Convicted murderer Danilo Cavalcante, who broke out of a Pennsylvania prison more than a week ago, still on the run. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens with Pennsylvania State Police.
He's desperate. He's on the run. He does not want to be recaptured. That's why we offer the advice that people should, when they're in their homes, lock the doors, lock their vehicles, be observant.
Cavalcante sentenced to life.
At Reliable Roofing, we're dedicated to providing exceptional roofing services, including roof inspections, repairs, and complete roof installations, with over 30 years' experience.
Reliable Roofing provided me with valuable, quality, and dependable service. They were reliable and affordable. Please protect your most valuable investment with quality roofing services from Reliable Roofing. Definitely where the pros go.
Let our family help your family. Call for a free estimate today.
At Reliable Roofing.
Depression, anxiety, trauma, nicotine dependence, and more. Many families are struggling with behavioral health issues. Reaching out for professional help is the best thing you can do for you and your family. At Care South, we are committed to helping individuals and families to heal, bounce back, and grow stronger. Our team of professionals are available for telehealth and in-person visits. Call for an appointment today at 225-650-2000. Hope in healing is just a phone call.
And we're back. The Jaguar Journal. And it's the top of the hour. Got my man Perry White. P. White is in the building. I'm Reggie Flood. Mike, the producer, on the boards. And we are in the midst of the hype. We're building up the hype. It's early in the morning. Some people just getting in. Some people just getting out.
Yeah.
But regardless of what it is the Pete Richardson Classic, Boombox Classic, Southern versus Jackson State, the knockdown, drag-out cat fight here in Baton Rouge.
It is, Flood, and when you talk about the excitement in the air they said on campus, it feels like those old school 90s. You know, we can't let the 90s go, can we? Just got to hold on to them.
The 90s were a great time for us around Southern. The 90s were a great time, you know.
Just can't
it's the Pete Richardson Classic.
Yeah.
Just so you want to remember that, the Pete Richardson Classic. Pete Richardson is the 90s.
That's it, man. And we talk about today's opponent of Jackson State. No better person than to get on than he's a Hall of Fame. He's legendary.
That's right. SWAC Hall of Famer, Jackson State Hall of Famer.
Yeah, when you talk about legendary Jackson State, I went back and watched the game back in the day with Steve McNair, and guess who I heard on the call? I heard him on the call.
That's right. And he's a mentor, a friend, all of that stuff, man.
So
legend.
What we want to do is welcome him, because right now he's playing that blues up there in Mississippi. He getting them feeling good this morning.
Can't wait too long. Gotta keep moving.
That's it, man. Hey, let's welcome to the Jaguar Journal, my man, Rob J. Good morning.
Fellas, man, y'all crazy.
Look, when Rob J say you crazy, that's a compliment. Because there is no funnier person on the radio or the television than Rob J. So what's going on, brother?
Man, I really appreciate you guys having me, man. It's like you said, it's a beautiful morning here in Baton Rouge, man, and I can't wait for this game tonight. It seems like this game has come earlier than it normally has been in the past.
Yeah, normally we don't see each other till October, but I guess with the schedule rotating like it is now and being a non-conference game, they had to get it in earlier in the season.
What can you explain to me? Why is this a non-conference game? How does that happen?
Well, from what I've been told, now I'm no expert, but from what I've been told, they have a permanent Eastern Division opponent, and apparently Southern and Florida A&M are each other's permanent Eastern Division opponent. So then everybody else rotates off the schedule, on and off the schedule. So in Jackson State and Alcorn, since Alcorn moved to the East, Jackson State and Alcorn became each other's permanent opponent.
I got
you. That means everybody else has to rotate, and Southern and Jackson State ends up playing a non-conference game. Nonetheless, still a heated rivalry, but a non-conference game.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Rob, I got to ask you this, man. I know you're on the broadcast call for Jackson State football, and you've been able to watch the first two games. Of course, that first game against South Carolina State kind of wowed people as you saw the performance of Jason Brown. The world got to learn who Irv Mulligan is. We got to see T.C. Taylor take his team out. And my whole thing was with Jackson State coming into this season, I continue to say, could they remain prime time without prime time? And we thought we saw that in that ABC game against South Carolina State. Then last week, you come on a Sunday down in Miami, the Orange Blossom Classic against Florida A&M, a team that you've had much success against. Florida A&M comes out and kind of hits Jackson State in the mouth early, returning the opening kickoff for the game, and kind of kept themselves in position to ultimately close out that game 28-10. Florida A&M gaining 358 total yards, 150 in the air, 208 on the ground, which is something a little bit different with Florida A&M, who was near the bottom last year in rushing yards. And for Jackson State, output offensively, 303 total yards, 231 in the air, 72 on the ground. Florida A&M did a good job containing Irv Mulligan. Jason Brown seems to come out of that game. They said he had a hand injury, not really sure. You get McDonald, the backup quarterback, to come in. What was your thoughts when you look at this game? 2 turnovers by way of fumble for Jackson State but they fall to Florida A&M for the first time in a long time, 28-10. Your thoughts as you broadcasted and was able to really analyze this game?
Man, I tell you what, when Florida A&M scored on that kickoff return, Jackson State was still on the plane. I'm like, what is this? But no, man, FAMU, they have a really good team, and they was just so amped up to beat Jackson State and to play Jackson State. Like you said, JSU had beaten them, a few years and had a little winning streak against them. But Jackson State was still, I think they were still gloating and just floating on that win against South Carolina State. I really do. And I think they may have thought that that would carry on to FAMU, and it did not. It did not at all. But to JSU's credit, after that kickoff return, they did go back down the field and get into the red zone, but they botched the field goal attempt, and it was downhill after that. I talked with TC this week, and he said, man, when they kicked that ball out, when FAMU scored on that kickoff return, he was like, man, we're not ready. We're not ready. And then when they got the botched field goal, he was like, we're not ready. We're not ready. So, yeah, he did his best to get the team, back after falling behind, but it was just no avail because FAMU is just a really, really good team, man.
Speaking of Jason Brown, how is he injured? What is the status of his injury?
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
He all right. He brushed some dirt on it. He was fine.
Nah, he's fine, man. He got sacked a couple of times. I think he bruised his arm, but he's fine. The offense coordinator told me Thursday, that he's their quarterback and he will play. They'll have some packages for Zy McDonald, but Brown will play.
All right, so Jaguar Nation, we know that Zy McDonald's going to start at quarterback, all right?
Hey, for you, Rob, what did you see out of McDonald that you thought could be some highlights out of him? Was it anything that you saw, flashes of anything that could give some excitement to Jackson State fans?
He can run the ball. He's a good scrambler. He can run the ball. His arm is not as good as Brown, but that's what they have him for, man. When they have short yardage or they need to pick up a first down, he's the guy that can do that because Brown ain't going to run. You can yell fire, and he ain't running. McDonald will run with the football. I saw him in high school, man, and he likes to run with the ball. So that he's a short guy. You really can't see him over the line, but he can run with the football. I think that's what Jackson State fans are excited about with him.
Exactly.
And I want to ask you about Jackson State's defense coming into today's game. The matchup of Jackson State's secondary against Southern's receivers and those trench guys, Jackson State D-line versus Southern's O-line. What do you see from Jackson State defense today?
Well, Jackson State did lose a lot of guys on defense last year when they went up to the promised land with the Wizard of Oz. But
that's your boy.
when they followed the Wizard up to Colorado. But they do have a good defense with Devontae Davis and Huggins is back. So they really have a good defense. But we saw how good it was against South Carolina State. Didn't see how good it was against FAMU, but they did, shut FAMU out in the second half. Although Simmons said he slowed it down and he shut it down. But we'll see.
I'm not buying that. I think he got shut down. I don't think he shut it down. I think I give Jackson State credit. They played hard for 60 minutes. Now they didn't play their best football, but they did play hard for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Rob, what I want to ask you about, you have seen Jackson State football in many forms, but this, with Coach Sanders there and what we've seen, talk about that transition, man, going from Coach Sanders to going to the coach now, to Coach Taylor. Talk about that transition, and as someone who is covered, been involved in it, talk about it from your point of view to watch the transition and the way Deion Sanders left the program, man. You're a Jackson State guy at heart. Talk about that in the kind of feelings you got during that time.
Well, you guys know I'm going to tell the truth, man. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sugarcoat anything. And when Deion came, there was just so much hoopla around Jackson State. So everywhere you go, there was a camera. Wherever he went, there was a camera. And I talked to the guys this year before the start of the season, they were like, man, we're so relaxed because there's not a camera in your face like it was last year. But he brought a lot of attention to JSU. But with that, it was a lot of, I won't say chaos. It was kind of organized chaos. And with us, what upset me with him was that even us at JSU TV, we had stipulations. We couldn't go here. We couldn't go in the locker room. We had to shoot in the end zone. We had, we didn't have the access that we normally had in all the years that I covered Jackson State and been around Jackson State. So I was upset about that. Also, I was upset the way he left. Now, like I said, he brought a lot of attention, brought a lot of money to Jackson State. He did do that. But the way he left after that win last year at Memorial Stadium in the championship game, he was rushing everybody.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You didn't give the team a chance to celebrate because he was trying to get on this plane to go to Colorado.
Yes.
But like I said, man, that was – I'm not mad that he left. I was just upset the way he left, after that last game.
And I'm glad I got somebody like Rob J to explain that, because to people on the outside, on the peripheral, they say, "Oh, well, Jackson State was mad. What did they expect him to do?" And I tell them all the time, in my limited defense of Jackson State, I tell people all the time, the people that I know from Jackson State who are true Jackson State people were not mad at him for leaving. They were mad with him for the way he left, not that he left.
Absolutely. And, people they were saying things like, because I was broadcasting that game that night, and after that, they was like, well, the SWAC took too long to put the stage up. No, they didn't. The SWAC did a wonderful job to get that stage up as quick as they did on that field. They really did, man. And I commend, the SWAC take a lot of hits for a lot of things, but they did a fantastic job putting that stage up as quick as they did. But Dion was rushing everybody, and I give you an example. Even the ring celebration earlier in the year, he had me MC it. So I'm calling out the player's name, like, for instance, Johnny Smith. And then I wait till he gets his ring. He started running his hand. It was at 7 o'clock in the morning now. He started doing his hand like, hurry up, man. Hurry up. Just keep going. I'm like, you want to do it?
See, look, people, I've known Rob for a long time. And look, you remember when Rob and Coach Sanders went viral, and people remember when that happened. Rob, you are a more gracious man than I am. And I know that I get it. You had to be in that situation. But I could tell by the look on Rob's face, while he was joking, he really wasn't joking.
Absolutely not. Let me tell you this, guys. Every time I sat down with him, from the first game up to that game, we would, we talked before we actually go live. And my first question to him would be, how you feeling today? So he said, you don't talk like that. That ain't not how you talk.
Yeah. Okay.
He would do that every week. So this particular week, I got tired of it. And I said, I'm going to show everybody what he's saying. That's what I posted. But I didn't know it was going to go crazy like that. I did not know that.
You Rob, you should have hit him back. Well, you don't talk like that either.
But now, it was. He never really wanted to sit down and do those interviews.
Yes.
But then, as weeks went by, he got comfortable with me, and I'll say this: I did enjoy doing them because he would always play off the silliness that I would do. So yeah, he was good for that.
Hey, Rod, I'm gonna ask you this before we get ready to let you go. Keys for Jackson State. What are you looking for on the Jackson State side today for success to get a victory on the road? And, you guys got the target. Big brother gone now. So now y'all back to little brother. You back. I tell people this back to regular Jackson State. This back to regular scheduled program. So I'm not going to let you get out of here on a high note, right? This back to little old Jackson State that I remember, right? So what is it like now that you got that target on your back? Everybody for 2 years have seen, you got your big brother with you. Now big brother gone. What's your keys for today for Jackson State?
Well, for one thing, they have to shore up that special teams unit. I mean, it was a disaster last week. They have to do that, and they have to make sure the running game is intact. Quarterback has to play much, much better, and you got to do a good job on defense. I got to give you guys a little secret. Your quarterback, Harold Blood, he stayed at my house in Jackson during the summer. So Blood told me, he said, man, Mr. Rob, I'm starting quarterback for Southern this year. I mean, what you gonna do, Blood?
By the way, Rob is one of the smarter Jacksonians.
Yeah.
He did marry a Southernite.
Oh, the good job, sir.
So he definitely married up.
Good job,
Yeah,
sir.
man. So my wife let Blood and some of the students stay at our house during the summer. You know, they were broadcast students. They're broadcast students. So they said he's a good guy though, man. He's a very respectful young man.
Yeah, good deal, good deal.
Well, Rob, man, thank you for coming on, man. I know you got to get back to some other things, man. That's the voice of Rob J. Jackson, State's Hall of Fame, legendary sports broadcaster, man. He does it all, and he's always a great personality, a good person to talk to. And, Rob, you do something that I think most don't. You bring a personality that has a flair, and you put a smile. You're not so serious and politically correct. I've listened to you guys broadcast before, and, man, you guys really bring it from – well, I'm not going to say you guys. You bring it from a different perspective. The rest of them, I don't know about.
Man, that's nice of you to say, man. I really appreciate you guys. It's an honor to be on your show.
Thank you, Rob. Rob, you playing old school blues or some Southern soul?
I'm playing old school blues. Let me see if you can hear any of it.
Oh.
In the heart of the city.
Hey, I got a request
you got that
for you,
right.
Rob.
I want some. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a request for you. Play that Marvin Cease Candy Liquor for him today.
Wait a minute.
Nah, make sure you play some Johnny Taylor. Make sure you play some Johnny Taylor for him. Rob, we appreciate you joining us, man, and we love having you on, man, and we'll see you later. Have a good call tonight, man.
Okay, you too. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back. We'll break down that Southern versus Alabama State game. I know you guys been dying to talk about it. All right, so let's take a break. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
At Reliable Roofing, we're dedicated to providing exceptional roofing services, including roof inspections, repairs, and complete roof installations, with over 30 years' experience.
Reliable Roofing provided me with valuable, quality, and dependable service. They were reliable and affordable. Please protect your most valuable investment with quality roofing services from Reliable Roofing. Definitely where the pros go.
Let our family help your family. Call for a free estimate today.
At Reliable Roofing, we're dedicated to providing
Depression, anxiety, trauma, nicotine dependence, and more. Many families are struggling with behavioral health issues. Reaching out for professional help is the best thing you can do for you and your family. At Care South, we are committed to helping individuals and families to heal, bounce back, and grow stronger. Our team of professionals are available for telehealth and in-person visits. Call for an appointment today at 225-650-2000. Hope and healing is just a phone call away. Depression.
back. It's the Jaguar Journal here on Talk 107.3. We're making it happen. Me and my man P. White. I'm Reggie Flood. My man Mike, the producer, holding it down. Want to thank Rob J for joining us here. Good to have Rob J on, man. Rob J is a funny guy, great guy. Like I say, a legend. He's literally a SWAC Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he is, man. And you know, as we talked about Jackson State, it's now time to do what the fans want to talk about. The Southern Alabama State game last week. Southern falling 14-10 to Alabama State. Man, a hard-fought game. Let's look at the numbers from this game. Alabama State, 13 first downs, 5 of 13 on third down, 0 of 2 on fourth down, 266 total yards in this game. Flood, 180 in the air, 88 on the ground, 4 penalties for 20 yards, 0 turnovers for Alabama State in this ball game. On the other side for Southern, 15 first downs. Listen to this third down efficiency, Flood. 4 of 14 on third downs. Fourth downs. This is something you don't hear much from Southern. 4 or 5 going for it on fourth down. Dooley was gambling in this game on fourth down, and you look at yourself being put in those. Those are tough positions for any offense to be put in. 235 total yards for Southern University, 166 in the air, 69 on the ground, 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. The fact, when was the last time you heard Southern not rush for over 100 yards in a game?
It's been a long time.
Long time. All right, let's look at the box scores. You look at Harold Blood in this ball game, 17 of 34, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 34 passing attempts is a lot for any quarterback, Flood. On the ground, Gary Quarles, 8 carries, 30 yards. Harold Blood, 8 carries, 22 yards. Kobe Dillon, 9 carries, 20 yards, man. It's just when you listen to that, that is a tough one. But I'm going to tell you, that was a beast on the other side of the ball for Alabama State. Wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson, 9 receptions, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was their offense. Turnovers were costly for Southern in this ball game. One of those turnovers, Harold Blood getting blindside, fumbles the ball, gives Alabama State the ball in short field position within their own red zone, ultimately gives them that 14 points to go up. You look at that interception. Now, Southern's defense, hats off. You asked for a defense that had did everything to be able to keep Southern back in the game, get Southern the ball back with 41 seconds left. Harold Blood goes out and throw an interception on the first play of that drive, man, and that was one of those costly ones. But 34 passing attempts for 166 yards, 2 interceptions. Harold Blood's first start. What's your thoughts on it?
Up and down, shaky. We saw some things that I think are just part of Harold Blood. He definitely has to continue to work on protecting the football. We've seen this before. Some of the inaccuracies, some of the misreads did not make me feel comfortable. But then you saw some moments where he made some nice decisions. He threw some nice passes. He was able to make some things happen with his feet. He isn't a dynamic runner, but he'll keep you aware with using his feet. I hope, they say you make your greatest improvement from game 1 to game 2. I hope that we see his greatest improvement from game 1 to game 2. And I think if we do see that kind of improvement, then Southern will more than likely be successful.
And a tough road loss for Southern. I mean, a lot of Jaguar fans did not like the way. I think not just the fact that Southern lost. I think it was the way that Southern lost.
It reminded people a lot of what they had seen last year. Like a lot of people said, a lot of people that I talked to were like, they look the same as they did last year. Nothing has changed. A lot of people were upset with Coach Dooley. The play calling. And my thing was, in being as close to the game as you and I get, I don't necessarily think it's play calling. I think it's execution of plays. Yeah. Now, we can go back to coach. Ultimately, it always falls on the coach because he's the guy in charge. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when and I think you'll back me up on this, there were plays to be made.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But guys just weren't making plays.
I'm looking for Southern to have that dog, somebody that say, I'm the guy. When the game is on the line.
I don't think we have that on offense. I think on defense, we have that. I don't think we have that on offense.
And that's what I'm looking for. Somebody to say, the game on the line, I'm that guy. All right, let me do that. Let me get that, right? Yeah. I don't see that yet. And then we looked flat on the sideline in terms of the energy, especially offensive. And maybe, I'm not sure what's the cause of that. I'm not sure where the energy is looking to come from. But offensively, and that's where you start to see Southern struggle, and that's what you're starting to see. 10 points from a Southern offense It's something we're not accustomed to, but we've been seeing this trend under Dooley where either it's big or it's low.
Yeah.
Either you hit a home run or you striking out, and that's literally what you get in between.
We have been in a home run slump.
We've been in a home run slump. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got a call on the line. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Jaguar Journal.
How you doing, OGs? I'm Christopher Dillon Williams, Southern University junior. Do you feel like our defense is going to carry us throughout the whole season, or do you think our offense will improve anytime in this season?
Christopher Dillon, let me tell you, I think that defense is going to be who they are. I don't think we can rely on them to carry us throughout the season. I think they're a very good defense, but things happen. Offense is going to have to make something happen for Southern to reach its long-term goal of winning the SWAC and going to the Celebration Bowl. If we're going to be a middle-of-the-road team, then we're going to be carried by defense, but that's going to end up coming back to hurt us just like it did against Alabama State. So the offense is going there. We're going to have to find some offense.
And I think when you look at this team, if that's what's going to be the thing, this is going to be a repeat of what you saw last year, where Southern is going to be in a situation where it didn't get to the championship by being a dominant team out of the West. It got to the championship by the miscues of other teams. And Jaguar fans aren't too enthused by getting to the championship that way. Nonetheless, we want to get there, but I think you saw that the way that we got there by the attendance of the game at Jackson State last year, that Jaguar fans weren't all the way bought into that game because you saw how tough it was to sit through that Bayou Classic. You saw how tough it was to go to Jackson State on the road. You saw how tough it was to sit in Dallas, Texas to watch us against Texas Southern. You saw how tough it was to let that game at LSU just get away from us early on in the first quarter. It was things that the fans saw with their eyes that as Jaguar fans, we know football. Yeah. We understand what we're watching. And if Southern is going to be in a position to have to rely on this defense, that's not going to get them to a championship, in my opinion, just outright. Maybe things fall in their favor like last year, but for me, you want to see Southern's offense. Listen, if Southern's offense can get to clicking with this defense, Southern can be a very, very dominant team in this conference, and that's what I've seen with this team. They just got to have an offense, and Southern's offense needs to at least score 30 points a game. When we're talking that range of about 31-plus points a game, if Southern can do that with this defense, Southern is Celebration Bowl bound. But without this offense to be able to click and it's just sputtering out, Southern's not going to get far. And especially with a team like Florida A&M, it's going to be tough just seeing the way that if they can jump out, Southern doesn't look like a team that's going to have to be that can play from behind right now.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, thank you for the call, man. Let's get ready to take a break. We come back. We're going to get Jim Kleinpeter on to talk to us about what he saw in today's roster breakdown. All right, so y'all stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
Depression, anxiety, trauma, nicotine dependence, and more. Many families are...
At Reliable Roofing, we're dedicated to providing exceptional roofing services, including roof inspections, repairs, and complete roof installations, with over 30 years' experience.
Reliable Roofing provided me with valuable, quality, and dependable service. They were reliable and affordable. Please protect your most valuable investment with quality roofing services from Reliable Roofing. Definitely with a Pros Go.
Let our family help your family. Call for a free estimate today.
At Reliable Roofing.
the Jaguar Journal. And, it's the big weekend, Jackson State weekend, big game, man. Shouts out to everybody joining us on Facebook. Shouts out to the millions of people listening to us around the world. Shouts out to everybody that's on YouTube. They're active on YouTube, man. They're doing a lot of talking. DW, Brother Williams, Joseph, Adrian, Chuck, my man Edwin, always down with me, man. Edwin, what's going on? And, my man off script says that Southern, let's see, what did he, I want to make sure. He disagrees, said quarterback playing the SWAC is bad all around and can make it out by playing great defense. Miles Crawley being at Grambling would be a problem for Southern. I don't know about that one, but I agree with him to a point. Quarterback play is bad around the SWAC. I just don't think Southern can make it where they need to be without good quarterback play.
Yeah.
Because of the type of offense that we run, and that I don't think we can defense our way to the championship.
Yeah,
defense always wins defense wins championships. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think this team can strictly rely on the defense. Offense is going to have to make some plays. I don't think they have to score 30 points a game, but I think they have to be in the 24-point range for Southern to reach the goal that they need.
And I use the 30 because the Celebration Bowl, and traditionally I go back and look at the points that's in the Celebration Bowl and what you have to do to get over the hump. And for Southern, it ain't the SWAC championship. It's the Celebration Bowl.
Yes.
Right? And that's what I'm looking at. And I don't want to look ahead of that. But this is not the same ground and pound run team of Southern in the past where you can get away with running the ball, right?
Although it probably should be.
It should be, but we're not seeing it designed that way.
It's not designed that way.
Yeah,
but
Southern is spreading you out this year, all right? All right, let's go to the phone lines because we got our third member of the team, as I always call him. He's our guy here, and he's a friend of the show, my man Jim Klein, Peter the Advocate.
Great to be back. Great to be back.
James!
All right, Jim, let's jump right into it, man. You saw it firsthand just like we did last week, 14-10, loss to Alabama State. Your thoughts? I've seen the articles all week, but for those that did not read them, your thoughts on that game and your takeaways.
Well, Harold Blood made, he had three of the four turnovers were on him, but I don't think he played so bad that they shouldn't have been able to win. I think maybe the offensive line's a little overrated because the backs averaged 2.7 yards a carry, and that's not Harold Blood. That's the running backs, the three running backs, 2.7 yards a carry. That's not good enough. And I think those backs are good. They're not talented. I just have a feeling maybe we expected too much from an offensive line that you can say has four starters back, but that's not four guys that started like 11 or 12 games last year. That's guys that had some starts and really is just coming together. So Southern, Dooley's been promising offense, and we really haven't seen it except for a couple of occasions last year. And you score a field goal and a touchdown, it's not going to win too many games in the SWAC.
No, it's not at all. And when you look at this offense, and we're looking for this offensive-minded guy. When you see things not clicking, Harold Blood, 34 passing attempts, that is high for me to be able to have only 166 total yards. But it was the turnovers. But what does this offense look like it needs to have to do? Or does it seem like Dooley has to get more of a creative mindset to say, all right, my quarterback does not seem to be in rhythm. Let me get back to the drawing board. Let me draw some things up. Let me figure some things out with this offense in order to find other ways to get the ball in playmakers' hands.
I think you've got to run it first. Okay, you got to make them respect the run. Alabama State was crowding the line of scrimmage, and this is until Harold Blood beats you. That's what's going to be the game plan for every team: is make him beat you, challenge him to beat you, and he didn't do it. And really, all he had to do was get one more touchdown. They were in the game till the end, but the offense couldn't get out of its own way. A 10-yard penalty, and they couldn't overcome twice. They had 10-yard penalties that stalled their drives, and then the other three were the turnovers. You can't ask much more from the defense. What they did, they were heroic when you consider how little help they got from the offense.
I like when you say heroic because they were. When that defense made that last stance and we got that timeout, we got the ball back with 41 seconds. I said that's what you need out of a defense to stand tall, especially against a team like Alabama State that showed you they were going to run the ball no matter what. And that's what they did. Jim, for you, when you look at coming in today's game against Jackson State, what does this matchup for you from Southern's perspective look like against Jackson State, a team who took a tough one last week, scored the same amount of points we did, 10 points?
Well, I look at that Florida A&M game from Sunday, and Jackson State didn't really get dominated in that game. It was 28-0 at halftime, but they played the second half, and they won the second half 10-0, and that's a sign that maybe they let some things get away from them in the first half, but they didn't quit. Teams. Yeah, and you know what? That's a pretty good defense. I looked at the numbers, and you look, Musa. I don't think he had 200 yards passing in the game, and they didn't need him because they had the kickoff return, and I think this Jackson State defense is at least as good as Alabama State. So Southern's got to do something. They got to do something to loosen the logjam. They got to do something quick, and they need to get on top early. They need to get the crowd into this game tonight, and get a little good vibe, Mumford vibe tonight, and with this new light show that I can't wait to see. The LED light. There should be some electricity, but they're going to need to get some of it from the Jag offense.
Yeah, you talk about Jeremy Musa. He went 12 of 22, 150 yards with 2 touchdowns. He had a modest day from the quarterback position. Then they had a pretty good day, Florida A&M, from the running back position. 2 running backs, Jennings and Yance, 75 yards for Jennings, Yance 72 yards. So a modest day when you look at those running backs along with Musa, but then you factor in special teams. 3 phases of the game will get you a victory.
Absolutely, and Southern special teams really kind of let it down. They got the field goal. In fact, they got a field goal after a delay of game penalty, which was I have to give Joshua Griffin some credit on that because that can mess with your head. But then he completely whiffs on the second half kickoff, and I guess that's one of those once in a lifetime things that
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it happen before, but and I guess even the best kickers can have something like that happen. But then Beauplan, the next time they punted, he kicks one 20 yards. So the Southern defense was always playing in its own territory. It's just, that was almost too much to ask.
Played the whole second half in the shadow of the goalpost.
That's right. They stood up, except that one time when when the offense gave up the ball on the 17-yard line. 1-2 plays and boom, they're in the end zone. So. And that ended up being the deciding touchdown. It's hard to believe when you look back at that game that it was so winnable for Southern, and they couldn't do anything offensively to win it.
And what really kept Southern in the game was that poor field goal kicker, that poor kicker from Alabama State. Plenty missed field goals. This game, if you look at it, probably wouldn't even have been this close had he made those field goals.
But those field goals they weren't good field goal attempts. I mean, not on his part, but just the position. Yeah. They were almost asking him to do the impossible. Those weren't necessarily makeable field goals for him.
Yeah, they were 40-plus, I believe.
Yeah,
and I guess Eddie thought that, he must had him one.
I mean, he was in no man's land. Yeah. He was in no man's land. It was too far to go for it, too short to punt it. You might as well send the field goal team out there.
Yeah.
And they'd already been stopped on 4th down twice. So.
Yes.
Predictions for today, your score prediction.
Well, I had what I have in the paper. See if I can remember. I just wrote it last night. I can't even remember what I wrote. But I picked Jackson State to win 20-16. Southern's going to have to show me some offense before I'm going to believe that they have any. And I'm sure Harold Blood's going to feel better about himself tonight. In the confines of the place where he practices. The home crowd will be behind him, but still, I haven't seen an offense that has come together. I've seen bits and pieces, but Jackson State's going to run the ball, and they're going to probably do what Alabama State did. They're going to run it until Southern stops them.
Yeah, and I'll venture to say Jackson State probably has a more potent running game than Alabama State.
Yeah. I mean, they've got one. That guy, that their lead runner Mulligan is. He's a load. He's about 205-pounder, and he's tough. He gets tough yardage. So I mean, Southern's going to have to. I see another close game is going to be a lot like last week. I think the score I picked was 20-16, but yes, Southern's got to do something to shake up their offense to get everybody clicking. And offense is hard because everybody has got to. A defensive player, one guy can make a play on defense. He can make the tackle, and but on offense, you got to have everybody.
Yeah, you definitely have to have everybody, and you have to get clicking. For Southern versus Jackson State, I look at this, and I agree with you, Jim. Southern has to get out to an early start. They have to get off the snide, get the offense going, and put the defense in better position, because their defense, they're going to give up some yards, but they're going to have to bend. The defense is going to bend but not break. But if Southern doesn't get out and put points on the board, eventually that defense they're going to break. Like they can only do that for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and you think a good start is good, and that's what Southern had last week, and they still didn't win. They score in the first two drives, and then they didn't even come close after that. And penalties, the penalties were really bad. You get a 10-yard penalty, that's going to stop your drive, and that's what happened to them. So
you had a 15-yard penalty at a crucial point in the game, unsportsmanlike. Completely takes them out of the game, any opportunity to try to come back. So, yeah, penalties have been and it was a problem during camp, and it's continuing to be a problem now. I'm sure Coach Dooley will say we fixed that, though. We've already fixed that.
Well, yeah. Well, you only had 6 penalties, but, boy, 3 of them just were really killers.
Yes. So, I don't know. This is going to be interesting, Jim, to watch this game and see if whatever Southern does tonight, we'll definitely have a better idea of what kind of team it is. Because I'm not sure if they're as bad offensively as they were against Alabama State, but I don't know how good they can be considering everything that goes with this offense and the reads that they have to make in this offense and the reads that they missed in that Alabama State game. So I think that's still up in the air about how good of a team this team is offensively.
And I think we've got a good chance of seeing a much better Harold Blood, not just because of the home field, but he's got that first start out of the way. It won't be on his mind as much going into this game. So I'm looking for him to play better, but still, he's got to get help. Everybody's got to help.
Before we get out of here, too, though, we talk about defense, and they stood up tall against Bama State, but we're going to see a much more diverse offense against Jackson State. So this is going to be a new test for the defense, especially if Jason Brown is in the game, a guy who can spin it a little bit. So this is going to be a new test for the defense also.
Yeah, they're going to have to get pressure on him because he's not the runner that the other quarterback is. He can run a little bit, but this is a guy who wants to stand in the pocket. So you got to at least make him move off his spot and get him to move laterally or step up in the pocket and just make him move, and because he's not going to throw as well if he's moving.
Exactly.
All right, Jim. Thank you for talking to us today, man. And man, I hope we can get it done.
James,
my pleasure. Got to leave early to get there because I know it's going to be 25,000 plus in the stands.
That's right. It's a hard sellout. James, we'll see you in the press box, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good one, Joe.
All right. Let's hit that mic. Let's go through some games through the SWAC today before we get ready to get up out of here because we're going to be up against a tough one. But I do want to go through the games. Some SWAC games today. Abilene Christian and Prairie View. You think Prairie View got a chance against Abilene Christian?
Yes.
All right. That should be a good one.
They played them tough the last couple of times.
And they play those Southland teams in those non-conference pretty tough.
Yeah.
Texas Southern versus Toledo.
No.
Savannah State and Bethune. Those D2 schools gave the MEAC a tough time last week. Now coming over to the SWAC, what you think about this?
I think Bethune pulls it out.
Bethune gets it done.
Yeah.
Miles College, Alabama State.
Alabama State wins.
All right, Florida A&M and South Florida. A lot of people think Florida A&M has a chance for an upset. South Florida.
Yeah.
Lane and Alabama A&M.
I don't know. I don't know what Alabama A&M is. I don't know what Lane is. I'm going to go with Alabama A&M just because I'm going to go with the chalk, but.
What about Alcorn State on the road to Stephen F. Austin today?
Going to be a good game.
You think so?
Going to be a good game. I think Alcorn will be better this week than they were last week.
Our cousins from North Louisiana in town this
I'm
weekend.
not even talking about that.
All right.
Not even worth discussing.
And guess what? The Southern Heritage Classic. My cousins, my people up there in Pine Bluff, right over in Memphis, Tennessee. They call it the 901 Takeover. They taking Jackson State's place today over in the Southern Heritage against Eddie George and Tennessee State.
The mighty marching musical machine.
It is not it's the marching musical machine of the Mid-South.
That's what it is. Yeah,
the
M4.
mighty marching. That's Bama State.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, yeah. M4 versus the aristocrats of bands. But not Tennessee State.
You go Tennessee State in that game, and then
I don't know though, because Pine Bluff is playing kind of tough. Coach Hampton has them playing up.
I like Coach Hampton. He's a motivator.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee State because it's Memphis. It's there, the Southern Heritage. I'm gonna go with Tennessee State, but I wouldn't be shocked if Pine Bluff pulled it off.
I picked Tennessee State as well as in this game, but I do that because I want to see Pine Bluff step up to the moment. First time they've been in a big time classic in a while, so it's good to see them in a classic. And then today's game, Southern versus Jackson State. For you, what you got?
Southern has to come out on offense and do something. Defense has to be able to stand tall. Whatever quarterback Jackson State plays, they have to make them feel uncomfortable and contain them. Southern wins by 6.
Yeah. I got it 17-14. I think it's going to be a tough one. What coach needs this win more? T.C. Taylor, because if they start 1-2 or Dooley 0-2.
Coach T.C. Taylor is new. He could have a rough start.
Yeah.
Coach Dooley has no room for error at Southern.
Yeah.
With the fan base, with anybody involved at Southern right now, Coach Dooley, this is a make it or break it game. And I hate to put all of that on out there, but this is a make it or break it game. If they don't win this game, you very well could lose the fan base.
And Dooley, let me tell you, brother.
That's not me saying that. That's me saying it, but I'm voicing the opinion of a lot of people that I've talked to.
Well, let me tell you, brother, what I got. I'm saying it. I got some bets against some Jackson State folks. I'm not trying to wear a Jackson State shirt, Dooley. Southern. Come on now. Show me some love today, Dooley. Let's get creative, baby. I don't know what you got to do to the team. You got to do a old hymnal. You got to sing.
We don't have to get creative. Run the damn ball, coach. Run the ball, coach.
All right, want to thank everybody out there listening on YouTube, man. As always, man, we love your support. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Jaguar Journal. The comment section is typically pretty flavorful. Hey, shout out to everybody tailgating out there listening this morning.
Save me a plate.
My man, Mr. Ed, and everybody else out there, man. Shout out to y'all. I know you're getting it going early. I'll be walking around. If you see Perry White, hey, don't hesitate to say, you hungry? I'll be very hungry, all right? Shout out to everybody listening on Facebook. Be able to go like the Facebook channel, and as well as the individuals here in the studio.
Put that Roscoe on them, Holmes.
Want to thank my man Thomas White coming on with Mogul Threads. Go get your gear today. It is a whiteout game kickoff for 6 o'clock.
Right.
Rodney Kirshner coming on talking to us about the ticket, parking, and everything else around the stadium. Pete Richardson, the legend himself. The Pete Richardson Classic today. And when you look at Rob J coming on for Jackson State, always a pleasure to talk with Rob J and Jim Klein, Peter, and everybody else, man. We appreciate you. We thank you for coming on. And it's the Boombox Classic as well. So I'm hoping Southern sweep them up out of the stadium, that old sonic boom of the South. All right. So, Flood, get us out of here.
The man upstairs says the same. We'll be back at the same time in the same place. Because as always, it's the Jaguar Journal.
Support